To support this channel, tap the Amazon link in the description to do your daily online shopping.
It wouldn't be no Thug Life album if it wasn't for Man and Babe.
Life, I mean like a little bit, then Thug Life like a lot. These is my Thug Life niggas, and we finna do this like this. While I roll a blunt, y'all finna talk, you know what I'm saying? Thug Life. What Thug Life, baby? The craziest Thug Life niggas. Crazy. Yeah. Okay, who we got right here? The niggas, just, you know, they introduce themselves. All right, yes, sir. I'm Killer B. All right. I'm Man. M-A-N. The psycho maniac from the evil mind. Evil mind.
What up, though? This your boy DOC, and I got Babez on the line.
Doc, what's going on, man?
Chilling. How you been, bro?
Oh, I'm cool, man. I'm cool. I'm fair.
It's good to tap in with you. You know, for a lot of people that may not know, I played a quick clip at the beginning of this video where Big Syke was doing the interview, and he said it wouldn't be no Thug Life without Babez and Man. So this is actually Babez on the phone. So what we're going to do is kind of paint like a timeline, a picture of a timeline, along with some of the questions that some of the people that's on my IG asked they wanted him to know. We're going to paint a picture of his life meeting up to Tupac, everything all the way until when Tupac left and moved to LA. You know, but, you know, like my first question I want to ask you, just to kind of start off and then we'll go back. I want to know when you first met Tupac, the Thug Life album wasn't even thought about, the concept, no songs were done or anything towards that?
No, not at all. When I first met Tupac, he was, it was prior to him actually doing the Tupac Lives Now album.
Okay.
When I initially met Tupac.
Okay, that's what he was working on?
Yeah, I was like when he first, laying steps to that.
Okay. Now, prior to you meeting Tupac, before y'all first met and everything, like, what type of stuff did you have going on in your life? I know last time when we did an interview, we kind of didn't talk about any of that stuff. It was little bits and pieces in there. Like, what type of things were you into?
Oh, well, man, I was like living the Richmond experience, man. I was in the drugs, selling a high volume of drugs in the street. Hustling, had a few girls in the street, just doing whatever can get me some money, right. Whatever can get me some money and coming up and having a good run of it, man,
And what years would you say this was in, like the late 80s, mid 80s or 90s? Well, I come into the streets in like 86, like into the, selling drugs and everything like that, into like full time selling drugs, like probably 86, and after that it's just following Man. Right. Actually, whatever he did, I wanted to do. So whether he get a paper out, give me a paper out. You want to get in the street, I'm getting in the street. Right.
But yeah.
No, I'm listening.
No, but I'm saying Man didn't want me to follow him so closely because I was like the wild type. Like I might do something to trigger something that wouldn't happen if he was by himself. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. So Man is actually like your older cousin?
Yeah. It's my older family, man.
Okay. So like what would you say was the turning point in your life, like that actually made you even go into the streets? You know what I mean? Like that pivotal time, like if you say like around the 3 months time, like maybe you were just a kid playing around, going to school, but like what things was going on in Richmond during that time that made you actually go over into the streets?
Well, in that period of time, you had to belong to somewhere. I mean, or, people mistreat you, and shoot. In one instance, somebody stepped to me, and I had family from where I was from, but I wasn't hanging with them all like that. I was only like probably 11, 12, 13, anywhere from that age, whatever, but they confronted me, and I was like, and they confronted me because I had been seen with my family from elsewhere. So, then from right there, I'm like, I might as well go over here where it's at. And when I got over there where it's at, other things was going on. And I started liking those things more than, you know, I mean, I belong because by default, I belong. Right. I just hadn't been outside yet. You know what I mean? Into the game, you know? Right. But, you know, once I got out there into the game, man, I just like flourished, man. I was already, like I say, by default. Everybody knew me. Everybody know my family, you know, and like I say, following behind man. So, you know, that was my identification right there, you know? Right. And, you know.
Now, you know, when we kind of spoke off air, we kind of briefly, I was like in our last interview, you had mentioned a couple of times how you have became a changed person and put certain things down, and you were saying a lot of your actions and the way you were looking at things back then was due to you know, drinking and stuff. Like, what do you feel like in your life actually caused you to start like drinking heavy? It's, you know, as you was in the streets.
Well, man, early off, as a young teenager, probably about 15, 16, 17, man, me and my road dog, you know, was wild out there. You know, they was calling us the children of the corn. Mm-hmm. So we was doing everything to promote that label, you know what I mean? We was out there jumping on people, you know, shooting people, or whatever, you know. Finally, one time, me and my folks, you know, we jumped on somebody, and the dude came back and killed my folks. Mm. So, you know, then I was like, dang, you know, like misplaced, like, you know, and went off, you know. And then, you know, I was, you know, like I said, everybody around the whole Richmond had love for me. So everybody was like, console me and, you know what I mean, and bring me up. And, you know, finally somebody took me under their wing and was like, you know, this is what you're supposed to be doing. You weren't supposed to be doing that anyway, you know, and put me on a straight and narrow with some keys, with some bricks. Mm-hmm. And imagine when somebody's 16 years old or, you know, 17 with bricks. You hear me? I mean, there's no exaggeration. Right. And, from right there, you know, it was on, man. And shoot, you know, the game caught up to him, you know, caught up to my folks.
So, and, so the guy that put you on, he ended up the same one that said you wasn't supposed to be doing the other stuff when you first This dude, he ended up getting killed? Yeah. Like in success, like 88, this happened, 89, this happened, like, you know. Yeah. Was he
so up? I mean, yeah, to whatever, you know, whatever effect it went down, you know, it's a lot of mysteries and the histories on that. But, you know, you know, from like, I didn't even drink at this point. Like coming up in school, I'm quite sure you familiar with people like drinking, maybe at the park or smoking weed. I didn't smoke weed or drink. I just got money. I didn't smoke weed or drink to this point. And that's hard to believe who I had became. I mean, I never went beyond weed, like, as far as being on coke, heavy drugs, but I made it such a disaster of what I was doing, drinking and acting a fool, that it would be hard to believe. But like during school, I didn't even drink or nothing. I wasn't square. Whatsoever. I was fast moving, but I didn't drink. You know, I smoked weed. Right. But, you know, but I was like an outgoing dude, funny dude, you know, talk about people, like people to talk about me, you know, just outgoing, you know, and, but a serious dude, kind of like, you know. Yeah. And shoot, I lost that. And see, when I lost that, I had to, you know, fill that void with something else. Right. And so I guess alcohol, like, you know, kind of bridged the gap. But alcohol also did something else.
Right. So in between losing your road dog and then the partner that ended up putting you in the game, is that when you end up, like, having a closer ties to your cousin Man, or was y'all still dealing with each other, you know, tight then?
Well, we was like, me and Man have always been, I mean, since birth, like, you know, so, but we've always been associated around each other. But like I said, my folks put me down and all that. Man was already down. Man always had dough.
Right.
Man always, you know what I mean? Man always, you know, but then, you know, I branched off into my own route because, like I said, I was just like that. You know what I mean? I was ambitious like that. So I went in that lane, and once my folks got hit, that like kind of brought me closer to Man. Like, yeah, that brought me closer to Man. You know, shoot, got the apartment. You know, me and Man moved in together, got the spot. You know, just, you know, shoot, like that. You know,
right.
That was it.
So and this is kind of jumping, but I want to know, you mentioned Mike Cooley. Was he around during this time, or you met him later on?
Well, I met Mike Cooley probably when I was about, 8 or 9 or 10, anywhere from that age. You know what I mean? Mike Cooley's been around for ages. You know, Mike Cooley, he's always been from the neighborhood. Mike Cooley moved from, I believe, Oakland or Santa Rosa like a long time ago. And he was used to hang around the neighborhood with this guy that stayed next door to Man. Right. And, he started noticing the fast moving that was going on while we was doing next door with Marin house. We would be over there dancing, roboting, rapping, everything was going on at Marin house. Marin's house was the house. I mean, the hood, everybody from the hood was Marin house, been through Marin house. So Mike Cooley, came over there. And with that, Mike Cooley brought new, things from other places. You know what I mean? Mike Cooley was like a hip dude too, an older dude. You know what I mean? Mike Cooley always had a car, either, his own car, his brother's, his mother, he's get out the hood with Mike Cooley, you know what I mean? Right. And,
So, you just briefly mentioned, besides the work that you had out in the streets and stuff like that you had a few women out there on the street making money and stuff. What do you, during that time, what is your mindset, or at least, say for instance, if you was putting yourself back in them shoes back during that time, and you dealing with these women and you putting them on the streets, was they coming to you looking for a way to make money, or was it okay, you gonna get out here and make this money? How do you? Well,
no, and you know what? Like I said, I more than anything, I was a hustler, man. Mm-hmm. Back then, I had bricks. Anybody who listened to this right here, and they know I ain't lying. Back then, I had bricks. Them girls just came as a result of what I had, right. And they was doing what they was doing before they came, you know what I mean? Okay. So they came along with what I had going on, so I went along with it. Right. Cause I kind of needed the heat off me. Cause I was like a hot dude too, due to certain stupid stuff I would get myself into.
So you
know what I mean?
When you say get the heat off of you, so you saying it was to look like it was pimping rather than?
Well, not look like it was pimping, actually give me some money. Right. Pay some rent or, right. Or whatever. Shoot, get my car together. Right. Right. And I make it look like it, but it really to put the sack down. Right. Put the sack down. That's what I'm saying. That was a divide. When me and Man, when Man was into the Pac thing and everything, I was elsewhere, doing every stuff with other characters, you know what I mean? Yeah. That was into the stuff I was doing.
So basically, so this time it's still getting closer to the time before Pac moved out there. So basically this was the beginning, or during the transition of the money that was getting put up, that would have ended up funding the first album. So let me ask you this: when do you remember the very first day that you end up meeting Pac, and who did he come out to the Bay Area with?
Oh well, Pac had been in the Bay Area. Pac had been in the jungle over in Marin City. So and Pac had already been in California. He had been in the Bay Area in Marin City. Pac basically grew up over there too. Mm-hmm. So Mike Cooley had a chick over there. I think his child's mother stayed over there or something. And like I said, he got a hold of Pac and found Pac talent and introduced him to Man, and they kind of horned his talent. But yeah, Pac was already over there. And what were you saying?
No, I was trying to get you, to describe what was the very first day, describe the very first.
Yeah. Pac, he was staying over there in Marin, right? Mm-hmm. So one night, we was shooting dice. We was shooting dice over there in the hood on set, and Mike Cooley came by there, and in this Cougar pulled up, you know what I mean? And Pac was in the car. And Mike Cooley was a gambling addict. So he came over there shooting dice with us, and then we man, who's that dude in the car, man? Who's that dude in the car? We out there, just, having fun. That's when I first started drinking, actually. Around that time, when I first started drinking, 91, or whatever, when my daughter was born. Right. But anyway, so we in there just joking. I'm like, who's that dude, man? And he get to telling me about, this is the dude me and Man gonna put down, and man, we finna get this money, man. We finna get this money. And I'm like, okay, whatever. Because back then I didn't see nothing but what was in front of me. Right. I didn't project nothing So in 1990, shoot, I was what, 18 or 19? I mean, even though I had, may have had tools or whatever, but shoot, I was still a kid. Mm-hmm. So I didn't really pay no mind to that. But that's actually the first time I met Pac was in Central right there on Pennsylvania.
Okay. So the Pac that the world know, would you say that's close to the type of person he was when you initially met him?
You said, would he let the world know?
Like the Pac that most of the people, like the way they have seen Pac, was he that same type of person, like right then and there, or did he eventually?
No, Pac wasn't that.
Okay, what type of person
Pac was that? Like I was trying to, well, he was an artist, man. He was a straight rapper. He was somebody from, was a straight rapper. He wasn't into the thug life. Prior to that, there was Tupacalypse. As a matter of fact, he was more of a panther. He was more militant. Okay. He was more militant back then, I would say. More than the thug side, or more than,
Right. Did he discuss then, like, okay, I want to, put this type of messages in my music? Was he talking about his visions and stuff at that early of a stage?
No. He didn't start. Thug Life didn't come until after the Marin incident. Okay. And that's like, yeah. So that's when Thug Life came.
Okay. So before stepping back from that, what actually made y'all come up with the name Thug Life? Like, what even got y'all in that mindset, to make that album, like certain songs on it and stuff like that? What got y'all to that point, even got you to the point to say, okay, I'm going to invest some of my money into this project?
Well, because one, I missed the ship the first time. When Mike Cooley would always tell me, yeah, we wait till Pac come out. Yeah, we gonna get paid. I was like, dang, I wish I would have, just seeing how much talent Pac had. Because at this point I was like really abreast of him. So I was, involved in doing shows from time to time with him, and, I knew where it was going. Mm-hmm. It's hard to say, man. Well, and when I just start seeing, I just started seeing what was going on, man. Right. I just started seeing what was going on. You saying as far as what was going on that fueled the thug thing?
Yeah, like what, like actually created that movement,
I think that's the direction he was headed in. Because that's the direction he was headed in, because he seen more of what was going on with us. He got closer to what was going on with us. What was going on with me? To be specific, what was going on with me? Because there was something going on with me at the same time. Even before that Marin incident, and after. There was something going on with me the whole time. So while that was going on, Pac was around, and he was like, not witnessing, so to speak, but he'd be around me, and I'll be feeling how I'll be feeling, and, talking how I'll be talking drunk, and, and he'd be soaking that up, and, right. And that's how it would be. I'll be telling him about different things, I'll be doing in the street with my young homeboys, you know what I mean? And, shoot, he took a liking to it. He took a liking to that. Next thing I know, Thug Life was here.
Coming out. Now, just recently, we spoke about it. Jeezy, from Atlanta had an interview, and, people kind of felt a certain way. And because he made a comment, he was like, when he was growing up, he thought Tupac was rapping about the things that he was doing. But then he come to find out that he was rapping about the things that the people that
we was doing.
So basically,
yeah, he was rapping all the things Mike Cooley, me, and Man was doing. Mm. That was like the closer he had been to like a neighborhood setting and stuff like that. Because besides Marin, though, they got their own thing going on over there. But he more or less kind of took to the other side of the bridge and kind of. Right. Convey that.
Yeah. And all this up to this point is before him going back to New York and getting shot and everything, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So
this is like 92, 91, 92.
And
92, yeah.
And he was in the Bay, in that area around with y'all for about 2.5 years?
Yeah. Yeah, well, actually before that, because he used to, like do shows with Sister Soldier, the homegirl Yanni, the kids, which was Man's little brother, and Lil Jess, rest in peace, and Wicked and the Mouse Man. I mean, they were doing shows, this was before Thug Life.
Right.
Like I said, and they would go do shows around the Bay Area.
And he was getting a good reception out there, like people was really fucking with him?
Well, yeah, but no. Because they didn't really take to his style of rapping. They didn't really take to what how he was bringing it in his beats. His producers really wasn't, it wasn't blending in with his style. He didn't have the best of producers back then. I mean, not to say that Dion, whatever, it wasn't, we all was young. Right. We all was fresh. I mean, by now, his producer, whoever he was, probably super,
Right.
Super producer, but back then he wasn't. But so then he got better producers and better concepts. Like I remember him and Warren G had the definition of a thug nigga.
Mm-hmm.
I'll never forget doing that out there at Echo Sound, and the way Pac took to that, the way, the whole beat, the way Pac was stretching the beat and like riding the beat and like, and I seen how excited he was about it. Like, as soon as he got out of that booth, he started working on Thug Life. He started working like deeper into Thug Life and what he was going to actually do with Thug Life. Okay. Like, kind of mapping it out.
Now, at one point in time, you told me, I think you said, was it the very first song on Thug Life or the second song on Thug Life was based around a situation that y'all went through?
Well, we went to the movies and seen this movie called American Me.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think that was about the Hispanic dudes. And around and about that time, I had a little homeboy who was in a situation who had, he had threw his life away on some stuff he had did, And I was talking about, me and man was talking about it, and he went into it.
And he just ended up making that song around the guy. When you say he threw his life away, he ended up getting killed or going to jail?
Nah, he ended up killing some people.
And that's where you end up basing the song around that situation?
Yeah, but American Me is what really fueled it. American Me was what really fueled it, but because as a matter of fact, that track was already laid. So American Me was really what really fueled When I Get Free, that one right there, and it would just be like he would go anywhere and check out a scene, man, and come back from it with a track. You know what I mean?
Right.
But yeah, that's like where it kind of came from.
Like, how would you explain you and Pac relationship? Like, with y'all Ace Boone Coons, did y'all ever like bump heads? See eye? Y'all always seen eye to eye, or
Yeah, man, Pac, man, that was my dog. Like, man, my dog. Yeah, we bump heads, man. We bump heads, but then we right back cool. Right. And that's how I know how we was dogs, man. We bump heads and we get back cool. Cause I done seen Pac bump heads with somebody that never got cool with him no more. You know what I mean? Like Mouse. Yeah. But not to put him out there like that, but you know what I mean? Yeah, man. Yeah, me and Pac, man, that was my dog, man. He done something for me, man, what nobody would have done for me, man. Seriously, a lot of these cats that I call my Ace Coon or, Hope to Die, these cats wouldn't have done no shit like that for me. Hell no. So the more and more I look at it, man, the more and more I got to give him his deserving, man. You know what I mean?
Right. And when you say, certain things that he did for you that no one else would have did, like what type of stuff would he do?
Man, he brought me out of that situation, man. He brought me out of, you know what I mean, from even, he brought me out of harm's way, man.
Right. And
he brought me out of harm's way, man, straight up.
By going out on the road and doing tours and stuff, he was trying to get you to live the street life.
Exactly, man. And he wanted more out of me than I put forth, man. and which it was my own doing, you know, really. He wanted more out of me. I wish we could have made, you know, the best of both of us, man. Right. But I was still into that street mind.
So I know you briefly before talked about the grassroots and stuff like that and kind of knowing information and being around during that time. Was that during the period when he first started talking about like getting the 50 niggas, getting one person in each state, or was this closer around like as he was creating the Thug Life album, he was having those visions?
Well, what I can remember is going to Los Angeles, as I said in the first interview, and going to the Black Panther rally. Okay. While we were at that rally, okay, Watani was there. Then I seen this light-skinned dude, like, you know what I mean? I paid no mind, but he, like, greeted us, like, you know what I mean? What's going on? Like, you know, and then there was some more guys over there, right? Okay. Bam. I didn't see the light-skinned dude until, again, at the Keep Your Head Up video. I seen him over there, you know what I mean? He was talking about my cutlass and, just we chopped it up. I seen it, I come to find out, make a long story short, the light-skinned dude was Lil Monster Cody. From A-Trade, Gangster, with his brother had the book. Mm-hmm. And that all started really coming together, like, were they trying to bridge, the gang, where they trying to go with this? This is like shortly after the riots.
Right.
This was shortly after the riots when we all we went to LA and got to have the rally. But anyway, I just seen like how he was like trying to bring a lot of things together, man. I seen it all coming together.
Right. So like during this time in his life, what would you say like Matula and Mopreme Rose was in his life during that time?
Well, he always stayed in touch with Matula. He always checked in. He always tapped in with Matula. Straight up. I say, you mean when he moved from the Bay Area to LA? Mo and them moved. Mo moved with him at first, and then when they came back to the Bay, Mo never went to LA. Mo didn't move back to LA with him.
They were around like just as like more of, I wouldn't say spiritual guidance, but like mentors to him.
Well, yeah, Matula was.
Now,
Matula was advisor, was chief advisor.
Right. Now, I know in our last interview, we didn't kind of, since we going through the timeline of leading up to what happened at the park, and we didn't really paint like the picture for real. Like we, kind of talked about it here and there. You feel comfortable with talking about like, not with names, but exactly like how that whole day went from your perspective?
Well, that day we just showed up at the park, and as I was saying, it was like a fundraiser, and Frankie Beverly, I believe, was showing up, and I don't know what they're called. They were called 11-5. I forgot what there was another group that was supposed to be performing there. But however, we walked up, the kids, about 7 kids from Richmond that was in the group with Man's little brother, as well as the Outlaws. Well, back then they were called Thoroughheads. Mm-hmm. Qatari, Yafi, and Malky. They were with us. And before I thought it was Yaf that had the cast on his leg, but it was Qatari, because I since then talked to Qatari. Mm-hmm. I talked to Castro since then. He was telling me it was him that had the cast on his leg. They were like 13 years old. Mm-hmm. So, but anyway, we walked up, and there was a guy, he came out of nowhere singing. And back then, I was drinking and fueled. Like I said, I was going through some things anyway. And when the dude stepped up, I guess he tried to, roll up on Pac. So Man stepped up and like to check him. Immediately Man stepped up to check him. And he told Man he didn't want him with Man. So while I seen that, you know, like I said, I was drinking back then and kind of overreacting and kind of looking for trouble. And kind of pressed up. Well, I was pressing up on one of his partners, and another one of his partners stole and swung on Pac, and then the whole park like turned on us. The whole park turned on us, and we had to run for our life, man. Hopped in the car. They tried to turn over Pac Jeep. You know, and the police met us at it was one way in the jungle back then and one way out. And while we were headed on our way out, the police were coming in and they surrounded us, and everybody went to jail.
And who ended up coming back and getting y'all all out of jail?
I think Interscope came and got us out.
So at that time, he was already doing some business dealings with Interscope.
Yeah, I believe Interscope got us out back then. Yeah, he was doing business for Interscope. He had already signed the Interscope.
So that guy that walked up on y'all, that was just out of the clear blue sky because people was grimming each other, looking at each other odd? Or
no, he said he walked up and asked Pac, "Are you not claiming the jungle no more?" So that's why I reacted like I did, and that's why Marin reacted like he did. You know what I mean? Because he walked up on Pac, asking Pac about claiming the jungle. We wasn't from the jungle. You know what I mean? So whatever he was claiming, you know, this is man's artist, really. But not to say it like that, but, you know, dude stepped out of line, so.
Right. It's always been this, like, infamous, I don't know, it's been a couple different people I've talked to, like, that speak about that situation, said, like, something to deal with that park has something to do with, like, a girl or something.
Well, then I heard about, I mean, it was all surrounded around jealousy. Because they felt as though Pac probably should have put him on. You know what I mean? He probably eventually would have, but they wasn't first on his list. And they probably couldn't understand it because really Pac wasn't all the way in the door yet. But they wanted their time to shine, I guess. I don't want to just put that on them, like I said before, you know. But, yeah, you know, and then there was a girl that Pac was supposed to have ran up her phone bill, something to that effect. Then they wanted, you know, they act like that was a reason. You know, it's plumb jealousy, man, if you ask me.
Right.